Praise the Lord, everyone. This is Pastor Rodney coming to you again with more instruction from God's holy word and your daily drive-by. Listen, I was here, just came from church not too long ago, sitting here relaxing, watching football and just taking it easy for the day. And, I was thinking about just the next, segment and what I want to talk about with you guys. And so beginning tomorrow, I'm going to be talking about how to restore or to develop your self esteem. We concluded the other day talking about, what if divorce is the inevitable? And the truth of the matter is, sometimes when those of us who have gone through divorce, when we come out of divorce, we come out of divorce wounded. Oftentimes there are negative words that are said. There are things that have happened in our lives that we find ourselves just like, frustrated and aggravated. And oftentimes what people will do is that they will leave one relationship and then come into another relationship purely because of emotion. We talked to you yesterday about being very careful that emotion is not what leads you to drive away or to push away from the relationship. And then you also have to be careful that emotion doesn't bring you into another relationship. Because oftentimes what will happen is that if you have lived your life according to flesh, then, the flesh will only produce flesh in your life. And so the truth of the matter is, so many of us have been hurt, so many of us have been frustrated, so many of us have gone through pains, and maybe, when you were going through divorce, maybe food was your comfort. And so now you are heavier than what you would want to be. Maybe your skin doesn't look the way you would want it to look. Maybe just everything about you may be something that you're not pleased with. But the Word of God says that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, which means that when God made us, He made something beautiful, something spectacular. You know, in the book of Genesis, it talks about that when God created the cattle, He said, let the cattle come forth after their own kind. And when He created the birds or the fowls of the air, He said, let them come after their own kind. And the fruit trees that have seed within itself, He said, let it come after its own kind. He said, but with you and I, He made us after the sum of perfection, which is Himself. And He says, let us make man in our image and in our likeness. So I want to tell you today that you are beautiful, beautiful. Brothers, you're handsome. Don't let no one tell you otherwise, because the one thing I'll tell you today is that there is no one else on this planet like you. They say that each of us have a twin somewhere, but it doesn't matter if you had an identical twin. There is something diametrically different about each other. There is something that that other twin has that you don't have, and there's some things that you have that that other person does not have. And so it's important for us to build our self-esteem, to have a right, healthy perspective of self. And so I want to encourage you, starting tomorrow, we're going to be talking about this, how to rebuild your self-esteem. And now, mind you, we're not doing this so that we might be pleasing in someone else's eye, but we're doing this so that we might get past the wounds and the negative things that have been spoken over our lives that have imprisoned us, imprisoned our minds, imprisoned our emotion, that have introduced fear into our lives and have caused us not to be people of faith. It has caused us not to use the gifts that God has given us. And it's caused us to constantly look for the relationship that makes me feel better about me. There was a song back in the day that this woman sung, and she said, you bring me joy. But you know what? Our relationships, people of God, need to be more than that, because of the fact of that, if that person is the one that brings you joy and that's what you seek after, then what happens if and when they change? Then your joy is gone. But you should have joy unspeakable within yourself. And that way, not only will that person's joy enhance your joy, but your joy will enhance their joy. But it won't take away their joy. And so when we go through life, we can become almost like Job that said, naked I came into this world and naked I'm going to go out. Yes, we are hurt when we lose relationships. Yes, we are broken when someone cheats on us or someone walks out on us. But the truth of the matter is, we can live again. We can live again even if you found your first love, your true love, your one and only true love, and you were running around saying, baby, you my soulmate. And then let's say, God forbid, they go to the doctor and the doctor said you got 3 months to live and they die. Guess what? You still have life within yourself. And so I want to help you to tap into that life and to be able to, go a little deeper in God. Go a little deeper in God where not only do you learn more about God, but God reveals to you why he created you. Because that's why you are the way you are. You are the way you are because there is something that God has determined for you to accomplish. And because of that, that thing is waiting on you. It's waiting on you to get it together. It's waiting on you to shine. It's waiting on you to just wake up and say, hold up, I'm awake, I'm here, and just walk in the door, kick down the door and said, that's right, I'm right here to do what God has told me to do. And I'm going to tell you, if you come with that mindset, if you understand who God has created you to be and start to revisit those things, then whether you are naked or you have clothes on, you will know that you are beautiful. And what God has done in your life is beautiful. Don't let no one take that from you. Don't let nobody take that from you. And y'all don't know, we had such an anointed time in service today. The Spirit of the Lord moved in such a powerful way, and y'all, Pastor was singing his behind off, and I was hitting notes that I didn't think was any note left in me, but the Lord really allowed me and empowered me to do some great things today. And I'm gonna tell you, the Lord is good. He is good. And because of his goodness, he deserves the best of me. He deserves the best of you. And the only way he's going to get that best is if you come to love and to life and you see yourself from his eyes. It almost reminds me, if you think about it, times when, you have, like, maybe you're in love with someone, and then, you walk out the door and you go and see them, and maybe you got dressed and you go and see them, and they give you that look. Y'all know that look. Come on, it hasn't been that long. They gave you that look that make you think, boy, they could sop you up with like a bread in biscuit, or a biscuit in sauce. They just made you look like they look at you in such a way that's like, wow. And what does it do? It makes you feel good inside. It makes you feel good and says, I look good. And that's what it is. If we could just see what God sees about us, if we could just come to understand what God already knows about us, if we can comprehend and discern what is the reason and why God created us the way he created us, my God, we'll do just like God and said, it's good. It's good. So God bless you today. Look forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, we're going to start on how to restore, to rebuild, to rejuvenate, how to re-equip, how to get your self-esteem in a healthy manner the way it should be. Not being arrogant, not being prideful, but getting your self-esteem to a level that God is well pleased with you, and that when you look in the mirror, you see the wonderment of all that your God has done. God bless you. I love you real good. Now I'm going to go and get some rest this voice of mine so I can be ready for you guys, the Lord's willing, tomorrow. God bless you. I love you real good. Have a blessed and marvelous afternoon.